Hello and welcome to Newin's Anime Review. I am Newin, and in this show I review anime based on story, characters, animation, sound, and enjoyment, and give an overall rating based on the tiering system that I have created. The review is intended to give you an idea whether this is the right anime for you or not, so please enjoy.
Huh, what's this? Some Love Live ripoff? Instead of idol girls, we get girls playing instruments, so band girls? Well, let's check it out. Might be bad anyway. Whew, that was bad. I mean, Kasumi's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star was pretty cringe. Oh. Might as well check out their rhythm game. We got one as well, huh? So, let's have a look quickly. Ooh. There's covers as well. And what's this? Other bands. Hello, Happy World. Tier. Top 1000. Here we go. Let's go. Hello, Happy Team. Let's go. I cannot wait to see the other bands. Let's go. Hello, Happy. Pass the pallets. I can't wait to see them all. I think I like BanG a bit more than Love Live now. Could use a little less Poppy Pa, Rosazella, Razor Silk, I think so, but yeah, I think I like BanG more now. Please give more Hello Happy, Pastel Palette, Afterglow members more screen time, please. I mean, that was a pretty good story, but I think it lacked something for non-Poppy Pa, Rosazella, and Razor Silk fan.
Are you gonna review this or not?
The story progression grows over time, as it's pretty mediocre from the start, but gets better towards the end. I'm also talking about how much Season 2 was better than Season 1. So we are going to start with the bad first. Season 1 was an origin story for the main band, Poppin' Party, and I would say it's pretty generic, if not cringe. Seeing Kasumi form a band out of nowhere and getting members for her band feels really forced and uninteresting. I feel like there was a lack of chemistry during the season, and felt like no reason for anyone to join her band. Season 1's story really had no clear goal or why the band was even created. It was just because Kasumi thought it would be simply fun. I mean, she simply pretty much stole Arisa's guitar and decided to make a band from that. Season 1's problem was that it really didn't have a whole lot of reason for me to like these characters. Most idol shows I find give you plenty of reasons to like the characters, and BanG Season 1 didn't give you that much. We have your normal typical happy-go-lucky main character, Kasumi, who is probably more annoying than inspirational. Arisa, a very typical tsundere twin-tail character, Otai, the genius but also an airhead, Saya, the nice girl, and Rimi, the shy girl. Basically, most of these characters really offered nothing on their own and were there to fill character tropes. Season 1 didn't have much of a story goal. It was about forming a band, and I felt like this was the intention to promote the game, which I won't talk about too much since this is an anime review. But I have to mention the game just a bit as we talk about Season 2. This is honestly my favourite season out of 3 seasons of BanG. Now, I may be biased because I am a Hello Happy fan, then Afterglow, and Pass the Palette right after. But at the same time, I was also kind of disappointed by the potential of the season. Season 2 would have been a great way to redeem the BanG franchise after the lackluster of a start Season 1 had. Season 2's story was about Poppy Pa's growth as a band, and their challenge was to host a self-sponsored concert. So right off the bat, we have a goal about a high school band's path of hosting a concert. And how do the other bands come in play here? Simply as being inspirations to the main band. So throughout the season, Poppy Pa's development felt smooth and well deserved. I actually started to like Kasumi a lot during Season 2, because she felt more of a leader rather than the generic happy-lucky main character. Tai had a massive development during Season 2 which tied into the origin story of Razor Silk, which is also an amazing nod to the real life event of Tai's voice actor, who actually started busking on the streets to get recognition. Everyone on Poppy Pa was actually putting in proper effort into making their self-sponsored live a success. But Season 2 is also probably where you are going to have story and character problems without a bit of game knowledge. Season 2 basically begins right after 2 years of the game, which is equivalent to 1 year. Everyone is 1 year older, and the story and characters won't make as much sense because Season 2 assumes you know a bit about the already established world and characters. Because if you go from Season 1 straight to Season 2, it almost feels like an entirely new series. You will wonder to yourself, who are these other bands and why should I care? Because without it, you may not be able to appreciate some of the story progression these characters have gone through, such as examples of seeing Rinko become the student council president. Now I said earlier how I thought season 2 was my favorite season, but at the same time, my most disappointing season. It's because of the lack of individual band stories. This season could have been great if we got more episodic episodes about the other bands in the Bandori universe. In fact, my opinion, the best episode of the series was episode 5 of season 2, which was an entirely pastel palette focused episode, which in the end still led it to be a contributing factor to the finale of season 2. Because this one episode, which focused entirely on another band and what I thought should have been what season 2 was, an episodic series about the other bands. To establish more of their world, I just wish the other bands played a bigger role in the story during season 2, instead of being side characters 90% of the time. Season 3 is probably where the best story progression happens. In this season, we are focused on the 3 main bands competing in the BanG Dream Live. Poppypie, Rosalia, and Razor Cylind are all competing against each other to come out on top as who is the best band. And this season was a great development, especially for Poppypie and Razor Cylind. Rosalia basically played a role as the ideal band. They were the boss of the world and basically the top band to beat. What I love about this season is seeing how Poppypie and Raz competed in different ways. Also, seeing Razor Cylind's complete origin story was very interesting and executed very well, as they are a group of talented individuals who have to learn about being in a band together and what makes a band successful. Which I found this story to be eye-opening, especially when they start competing with Rosalia. For Poppypie's development, this is basically 3 seasons worth of development. Seeing how Poppypie compete against the odds really shows how much they have grown throughout the series. Poppypie in this universe is not really a talented band. They just work hard and play for each other and everyone else. They are pretty much the underdog shonen protagonists. And seeing each character's development grow is incredible. Season 3 had the much more story focused season than the other 2, and the more interesting story out of the other 2. There was a lot of development for Razor Cylind characters and a bit for Rosalia characters, because this season had a lot more focus. The story progression felt earned and the developments felt natural. Kazumi finally felt fully comfortable as a leader. Iris puts a lot of F in the band. I finally felt the chemistry between everyone. BanG Dream's story finally felt inspirational, and seeing the characters' development was amazing. Starting with season 1, the animation is straight up bad, I would say. Face proportions don't feel right, the art style looks messy, which is probably the best way to describe how season 1 felt. A lot of the character movements felt very stiff and clunky, and a lot of facial expressions felt very lifeless. It was actually pretty hard to see how these characters felt, with everyone having pretty much the same face. Now, I want you to make note, I'm only really talking about the non-performance scenes here. Because honestly, the performance scenes in season 1 actually looked good. There is a smooth transition from 2D to 3D during performances, so it doesn't really take away any immersion from the anime. And the frame rate doesn't really drop. Basically, apart from the 2D scenes, there was a lot of potential in the anime's art style. Season 2 would capitalize on this by introducing a lot of different characters with unique designs and switching up to completely 3D. Now, I know a lot of people have a problem with 3D animation and immediately turn away as soon as 3D anime is mentioned, but this change was for the better. For once, characters didn't look out of place, and proportions and facial expressions felt much more natural. Season 2 and 3 3D's animation style was smooth, and if you don't try to think about it too much, it became a very natural show with good 3D animation. Transitioning to performance felt natural, facial comedic expressions were funny, and because of the 3D, it added to the charm of it. When the art style does change for quick moments, it established a unique identity and went forward with it. The cardboard comedic timings added to the effect and the appeal of the art style, which probably wouldn't have had much impact as it would if it was in 2D. However, because it's basically entirely 3D, you can definitely see some parts the production team decided to skip out on. Such as everyone pretty much wears the same clothes every time because of the lack of different models for the other characters. And there are sometimes when you see a background character feel out of place because they are in 2D. However, I still think the change to 3D was the right choice because the performances were great. They really nailed the directing of those scenes and made you feel like you were part of the audience, and each show felt very enjoyable and had a unique style depending on the band. This is a music anime, and it's about time I get to the music proportion of this review. I honestly love BanG Dream's music. However, Poppypie's music is probably my least favorite out of all the bands in this series. And if your favorite band is Poppypie, you're probably gonna love this anime. For me personally, Poppypie songs are either hit or miss, because sometimes it could be a straight banger, especially when they are more rock orientated, but their more pop songs really sound more generic and uninspiring. Season 2 is where they really open up the variety of music, because there are basically 6 bands at this point in the anime, all with unique and distinct sound. We already covered Poppypie's more pop rock focused genre, but if you are more into very upbeat pop electro, Hello Happy World is probably going to be your favorite, and if it is, we can be friends. Or maybe you are more of a rock and roll type of person, then After's got you covered. Hey, maybe you like idol music. Pastel palette will make you feel at home. Or maybe you're a generic edgy gothic fan, then Rosalia is the band of choice. I'm just kidding, Rosalia fans. Or if you're an alternative rock fan, Razor Cylind is the best band for that. But regardless, I think you would fall in love with at least one of these bands and music style. because BanG provides a great variety of music and I love it for that. Most of the music is very memorable and have their own unique voices to pair with it, which adds to the appeal of the soundtrack. The voice actors do a very good job at their roles, especially to differentiate themselves from each character. Every character sounds unique and recognizable, especially from the main cast, and I never really had any issues with any of the singing the voices the seiyus give out. Maybe this is my bias talking, but I know a lot of people tend to hate on Kokoro's voice, but I cannot think of a better voice to go with the main singer of Hello Happy World. Honestly, music and sound really comes down to your own taste, but I will say this series has something for everyone. If you haven't figured it out already, I am a Hello Happy World stan. They are my favorite band in the Bandori universe, and my favorite songs in Bandori are from them. Your own enjoyment of this anime can possibly go all the way down to how you feel about a specific band or certain band. The anime is probably very enjoyable and entertaining to watch if you are a PuppyPart fan and enjoy the music. I know some friends who probably enjoyed the anime more than me for simply being a PuppyPart fan. However, if you only like one of these bands, it can also backfire, especially only if you start caring about one specific band. As someone who likes pretty much everyone in Bandori, I really liked and enjoyed this show. And as someone who liked Hello Happy, Afterglow, Pastapala, Rosalia, Razor Seal and PuppyPart in that order, it makes sense why I like Season 2 a lot more than Season 1 and Season 3. But because of me liking the other bands over the main bands is the reason why I felt disappointed by Season 2. And made me only enjoy Season 3 for simply being more Bandori and not too much because of the other bands involved. So if you're an Afterglow fan, you may feel very cheated on because they don't get that much of an appearance in the anime in general. And your own enjoyment can also possibly be decided into how invested you are into the game. If you went from Season 1 to Season 2 straight away without any game knowledge, you probably wouldn't appreciate some of the development, jokes and banter as much, because you wouldn't know the personalities and traits of these already established characters. If you are an idol fan, there is a good chance you'll probably enjoy this anime, because there is a decent amount of variety in music you'll likely get hooked into, if you are willing to go beyond the first season. If you are never an idol fan, I don't really see this anime changing your mind. Maybe if you're a K-On fan, you'll like this anime. I do believe your overall enjoyment of this anime will be dependent on how you view each band, and you can enjoy this anime to the fullest if you are willing to give each band a shot. And if you played the game, this is a bonus, as it is very fan service heavy to fans who played the game and just want to see the interactions between different characters and different bands. And I'm not talking about the fan service in sexual ways. If it weren't for the lackluster and uninspiring Season 1, I probably would have given BanG anime an A rating. But since Season 1 exists, and the need and the advantage to know the game before getting to Season 2 and 3, I'm giving BanG a B rating. The story does get better at Season 2 and 3, and the character development feels much more rewarding. This anime can be very enjoyable to watch once you become a fan. However, it does take time and may take more time if you are willing to learn from the games. Otherwise, it's probably not for you. The music is the main thing you stay for, and there is a ton of variety that at least one of the genre is bound to get you hooked. I recommend this show to anime fans of the idol genre and slice of life music genre. It's a pretty relaxing and lighthearted show to watch, and if you're willing to look at the other bands, it could be a very entertaining watch.
I hope you enjoyed this edition of Newin's anime review and tune in for the next anime review. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want and subscribe to my channel. Keep watching and enjoy anime, watch what you want, and sayonara!